All right, so I am now making my return to the second channel. For those who don't know, I have been very sick, and I'm still sick. But I am finally better enough that I can actually make some content over here, and that means also that I'm live on Twitch again. Yay! But if ever there's been something that was driving me bananas while I was stuck on the couch for like almost 4 days. I witnessed something happen, and I wanted to talk about it, and I wanted to stream about it, and I wanted to make a video about it so bad that while I was laying on the couch, I was vibrating in place. I almost turned into a fucking centrifuge because I was like, I need to talk about this. And I couldn't because I was just that fucked up. And I'm still fucked up, but I'm a lot less. So, here we go. We're going to talk about Dave Rubin. I don't like talking about Dave Rubin because he's boring and annoying and he's sad. But he has done some things recently that I think are very much worth commenting on and having a conversation about. The first thing that I saw him do was this. I was going to laugh about this, and then what happened like a couple days later just dropped me to the fucking floor. But here we go.
But I think that's an incredibly relevant question. Yeah. And I think DOJ, in the same way that it is setting up a task force to investigate oligarchs, should look into people who are Russian propagandists and shilling for Putin. That's being, if you are a foreign asset to a dictator, it should be investigated. In fact, I remember when Tulsi Gabbard, and I even hate that we're discussing it because I think to myself, who is this woman? She's she's no longer in Congress. She's a failed presidential candidate. Yeah. She only practically exists on Twitter, and the fact that we're giving her oxygen is what makes her relevant, that we're talking about her on Hot Topics.
They used to arrest people for doing stuff like this. If they thought you were colluding with a Russian agent, if they thought you were putting out information or taking information and handing over to Russia, they used to actually investigate stuff like this, and I guess now, there seems to be no bars.
What are you two crazy bitches talking about? What are you talking about? You want to?
So yeah, this was Dave Rubin attempting to do a Crowder bit. Apparently, I guess I am very, very shocked by this when I first saw it. Not because like, oh, I'm offended that he's playing a female character or some shit like that. But at how low rent and low effort it is, at least they kind of got an extremely low resolution backdrop for the view set, Like, I guess that's fine. You can kind of tell that they found that they just had like this random piece of like ladies sort of blouse thing going on, and it doesn't actually fit. It's probably not zipped up in the back. No, I don't know why he didn't bother to fix his wig. Is that supposed to make it funnier? I don't know, man. But yes, no, this is Dave Rubin. He went through the effort to put the lipstick on pretty good. But then like the wig is tucked up underneath. It's not straight. It's not pulled back. Like obviously the dress isn't buttoned, but he did a very good job with his lipstick. I have questions about this. But anyway, let's hear what Rubina has to say.
Arrest people who are different than you politically? Tulsi Gabbard? She's a member of our military. She's a former congresswoman, a Democrat. You just don't like her, so you want to arrest her? You want to arrest Tucker Carlson, the very dapper Tucker Carlson. What are you saying? You guys are nuts. You're just nuts. I only agreed to do this show because I thought that Whoopi was sane. She was good. Sister Act 2.
Yeah, my only familiarity with Whoopi Goldberg is Sister Act. Okay, all right. I mean, look, the thing is, when people say shit like that, okay, when they're like, oh, there's this person, and then they only know them by like the most wacky out there like pop kind of shit from when they were young enough, it's just so fucking boomer and cringe. It's bizarre. But also the context of what he's even talking about here doesn't make any fucking sense. It's weird. It's super weird. They're talking about if there's possible ties of collusion or interference with foreign, people, it should be investigated.
You want to arrest people for feeling differently politically?
That's not even what they're fucking talking about, Dave. What the fuck? Oh my God. Why would Dave use a mass crowd? I don't know, man. I don't know. It's very strange.
Anna's just nuts. I don't even know what she's doing here. And the other one's a racist, and there's the drunk one. What are we all doing here?
Okay, the drunk one, that's kind of funny. That's a little bit. But I right now I have the same feeling as Dave trying to watch this comedy.
You people are everything that you've come to hate. You know that? Why am I here? I need a haircut. Okay, that's better.
Yeah, and then the Blaze logo, of course. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I cannot wrap my fucking head around this shit. I don't understand. This is just him recreating a dream he had. I guess. I don't know. All I know is Crowder can't even make it fucking funny. And this is just the absolute opposite of amusing and humorous. It's fucking cringe as fuck, dude. Super cringe. But then again, if you've ever seen Dave Rubin's like stand-up comedy, oh my God. It's a war crime. Anyway, so
yes.
This happened. That was just the first thing. I saw that and I'm like, oh God, okay, I need to fucking laugh at that, poke fun at that. But then I think that this is like a couple of, let's see, this is March 16th. That was March 15th. One day later, this happens.
We are expanding the family, but, I have a belief that when you do things, you don't just go, you go big. So 2 babies, people. 2 babies are on the way.
Hey, Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov.
Those are ultrasounds, what you're seeing over there. Yeah. So, okay, this is going to be very confusing to people, and I understand this, right? Like, okay, wait a minute. You're both dudes. You're showing me 2 ultrasounds. They don't look exactly the same. What's going on there? Are they twins? Are they something else? Can we pull those?
What? That doesn't make any sense. How can you have a baby? You don't have a womb. Jesus fucking Christ. The way that what we're about to watch. So this is Dave Rubin announcing that he and his husband are going to have 2 children. Which great, good for them. I hope they instill better values in their kids than they share on this YouTube channel, because Jesus fucking Christ. But whatever, good for them. I personally, I would have thought it'd be better to adopt, but whatever. We'll get into it. In a minute. But yeah, so here we go. It's just the way he has to explain this, like a paint by numbers, set for his audience, because of the audience he's cultivated this whole time, is really sad.
Those images up again. One of them seems lighter than the other. Is there a coloration problem? What's going on here? Is this racial? I get it. There's a lot of questions.
The wombs being imaged in a different color is not because it's a different machine. It's because maybe one is a different race. Are you growing a black baby, Rubin? Like, I don't know what the fuck that was supposed to be about. It's fucking nuts.
Related to all of this. So let me just back up a little bit and tell you about our sort of fertility journey. So when you have 2 men or 2 women, you're missing a piece, right? You got the sperm or you got the egg, but you don't have a sperm and an egg, right? You don't have a womb. You got to figure out some things here. And, by the way, I know most of you guys that are watching this are now on the more conservative side of things, and I never see
the self-awareness is painful.
Any real issue with conservatives anymore and gay people, and Trump was the first time president to run being, pro-gay.
Chat, is there a really easy way to look up dislikes on a video without needing to install something? I've never actually looked it up. I'm just curious, because I don't give a fuck about dislikes on YouTube, and neither should you. But it is interesting and indicative of the kind of audience he's cultivated. How to see YouTube dislikes. Indicative of like what he basically has cultivated. So yeah, I'm kind of curious. Let me see if I can figure this out. Anyway, go ahead, Dave. While I'm looking this up, go ahead and explain what's going on.
Marriage, and I think most people just kind of want to live and let live and all that. But I know this is like a little bit weird for some people to hear, right? I get it. And by the way, to me, at some level, this is a little bit weird. Like I've had to learn a lot of stuff and go to a lot of doctors, and it's cost a lot of money, and it's been a long sort of adventure. But basically, what you're seeing there, one more time with those ultrasounds, would you?
Yeah, Pulveros, if you got the extension, I'll send you the I'll send you the URL here. You can look that up for me. Messaging you on Discord. Thank you.
Those are two different wombs, and those are two different babies.
Is that 2.7K likes to 933 dislikes? I'm just curious.
And I now know an awful lot about birth, and I know an awful lot about zygotes, and I know an awful lot about wombs and days when things start happening, and heartbeat appointments and all kinds of stuff. So basically what we are doing is we got one egg donor. So you got to think about this. If you need to stop right now and grab a Sharpie and make a chart, you could. So basically we've got plenty of sperm around here. That's one thing, right? So there's a lot. I'm just saying, there's a lot of sperm. We didn't have a shortage of sperm. So we've got sperm. So we had half.
Listen, in the Rubin household, just so much sperm coming out of our ears, and there's it's a fucking regular just spermathon everywhere. Cool, good for you.
The battle, right? We had half of what we needed, but we needed an egg.
Sure.
So there are egg donors that are out there. These are young women who are willing to donate their eggs. Women obviously make a lot of eggs. Some make a lot of eggs, some don't make eggs, but the donors usually are young and healthy, and if they want to help people that otherwise can't have children, they can donate their eggs. So you basically go on all of these.
Most of the time you're selling your eggs. Egg donation is usually code for making some money by selling your eggs. You can actually make quite a bit of money. Depending on whether or not you have like a family history, because they look into your family history, they see if you have like a history of genetic conflicts or anything like that. You can, if you got a clear family history and genetic history, then like you can make a lot of money selling your fucking eggs.
These websites, there are all these sites, and it's sort of like Tinder or whatever app you were dating on, where you're just kind of swiping through people, and you say, oh, I like the way she looks, or I like this girl had a great education, or some combination thereof, or this one is actually
Maybe the rich will rub off on the zygote.
geographically close. I like this person, but they're very far. And, there are different rates and all of these things. And our feeling was that we wanted one egg donor, meaning you get a whole bunch of eggs. Well, hopefully you get a whole bunch of eggs from the egg donor. And then we would take several, we'd split.
All right. You know what? So I'm going to cut through the shaft because like this is very much remedial, a remedial lesson on what's going on. So long story short, Dave Rubin and David Rubin, because they're both named David, which is cute. They decided to go and track down and look through the bio, almost like surfing on Tinder, to find the right kind of woman who they want her eggs. They then each donated sperm to one of two eggs. So they each had their sperm fertilize an egg from the same mother, and then they got two surrogates, two women with functional wombs willing to carry those two zygotes and grow them into babies. It does sound a little eugenics-y, but at the same time, like, this is something that's been going on for a long time, and it is a potential cure for people that have problems with infertility. It is definitely something that can be done for people who have non-traditional, whatever the fuck that means, families to be able to have children that do have a genetic relationship. However, there is something that needs to be pointed out. This is very much a rich people thing, okay? This shit is expensive as fuck. And there are some people who are like, isn't this kind of like designer babies? Yeah, It kind of is. And are there ethical problems with that? Yeah, potentially. Philosophically speaking, there are all sorts of weird concerns. If you've ever watched the movie Gattaca, I get it. I totally get it. But for the most part, I am predisposed to just be happy for them. I would be more happy for them if they were like, well, I'm going to adopt some poor kids that just lost their family, and I tend to think that that's a much more nobler way to go. But then again, I'm also not a rich motherfucker, so I can't just be like, well, why don't we browse around, David, while sipping our Chardonnay and try and find the right kind of femoid eggs we'd like to impregnate. So, yeah, it's a little wacky. It's a little wacky. So I'm trying not to be too mean. Because honestly, I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him if he wants to have a family. That's good. Families are great. Families are wonderful. I have a family. I love my family. But then this is where things get a little fucking crazy. Jeff's a message: adopt, don't shop. Yeah. People's Party. Kids have a right to their biological parents. Human trafficking isn't going to get any better at paying people to have your kids. Well, this would be partly biological parents. I don't know where this person isn't getting this right. But people obviously are pissed off about this because his audience is overwhelmingly conservative these days. Dave is pro-life. Why didn't he adopt? I know. I knew it. People would say, follow Dave Rubin. He's a conservative. And I'd say, no, it doesn't feel right for some reason. He speaks in cliches. It's something not quite right because of that. Now I know better. Let's see. So it's okay for you and your partner to buy 2 children and then let them grow up without a mother in their lives? Yep. Imagine realizing, hi, I'm Dave, and here's my gay marriage partner, Dave. We're the gay guys that paid your mothers to abandon you so you could live out a gay family fantasy. You could call us both daddy. Wow. This shit is very depressing. Everything about this story, like picking the surrogates from something like Tinder, is absolutely disgusting. Confused? No, I get it. It's the 2 babies that will be confused. Don't speak for me. 2 dads is not right. This is not right. Who's the mom going to be? A child needs a mom, a female mom. This is sick, and you can't make this normal no matter how well spoken you are. You picked your children like you pick your Tinder. God help us. It's fucking nuts, dude. Oh, yeah, trans rights, absolutely. Thank you. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. This is what happens when you turn your back on one audience and embrace another audience that hates your lifestyle. Karma. He was left-wing until gay marriage is written into law. Yeah. Yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's nuts. So, look, the whole concept of this is just very depressing because Dave, look, I've met Dave. I've met Dave in real life, and he's very stupid. He's very, 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 very stupid. But he has at least some degree of talent and enough connections that he's managed to build a brand for himself, and he's made very good business dealings to keep himself relevant and keep himself afloat. That's why he's, hooked up with The Blaze now. He works for Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck is his fucking, his boss, which is why I'm surprised that he hasn't gotten fired yet, but we'll see how it goes. But he shouldn't be this surprised that his audience thinks it's disgusting. Parts of his life are disgusting. They want him to be the gay conservative because then they have that as leverage when they have conversations about being anti-gay, because they're like, well, we have a gay that agrees with us, so that makes it okay that we say anti-gay things. That's what it's fucking about. That's what it's about. So anyway, then this happened, and this is just even more fucking depressing. So watch this shit.
It has these, what I would argue are often legitimate fears because the left does not stop eating civilization.
Correct.
And think about what an unfortunate position that puts us in, because then someone like me can make an announcement like this, then good, decent, thoughtful conservatives, some of faith, maybe some not of faith, whatever it is, could reach out and say, boy, this is what an interesting opportunity, and sure, it's a little different, and whatever, all the love that you and the Blaze guys and everyone else are giving me.
Hang on. Okay. So we're going to pull it back and we're going to hear it one more time because this is really important.
I get why the right has these, what I would argue are often legitimate fears, because the left does not stop eating civilization.
Correct.
So the left eats civilization, and that is why the right is homophobic. Okay, keep in mind, this is what Dave Rubin is trying to say. This is what Dave is trying to say. The reason why people are reacting badly to him is because the left is eating civilization. And Glenn is like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Correct.
And think about what an unfortunate position that puts us in, because then someone like me can make an announcement like this, then good, decent, thoughtful conservatives, some of faith, maybe some not of faith, whatever it is, could reach out and say, boy, this is what an interesting opportunity, and sure, it's a little different, and whatever, all the love that you and the Blaze guys and everyone else are giving me. And then there's this other part that's legit, which is,
Correct.
if we move the line, they're going to keep going. And I don't know what the answer to that is.
Dave.
I honestly.
So, and this is 100% right out of the conservative playbook. This is what they do. And we're seeing this with like the Don't Say Gay bill, okay? It's very, very simple. So we have defaults in society. We do. And you can call these like societal standards or whatever. And this is going to sound kind of like rough and shitty, but this is just kind of like the nature of sociology as it stands right now in this country. The basic standard is heterosexuality. Should it be? No. Fucking no. No. But it is. One of the reasons why you don't have to have a conversation with young kids in school about, well, why does Timmy have a mommy and a daddy, is because that's seen as the default. That everybody is just like, oh, okay, that's just what it is. They aren't naturally exposed to or having very basic, simple, terse explanations of like, oh, yeah, Timmy has 2 dads or 2 moms, whatever. As in, like, it's just normal. We don't have those conversations because it isn't normalized. It is instead something that is seen as an outlier and needs to be like more thoroughly explained. It's one of the reasons why I always advocate when people say they need to figure out a way to like talk about kids with this. My answer is always very simple, as blunt and quick as possible. Like, oh yeah, they just have 2 dads. Well, why? I don't know. Some families are like that, and that's it. Don't make it a big deal, because if it's not a big deal, then for a kid, I mean, it is a big deal for us as adults. Like, we have to talk about it because there are concepts that we have to, like, muddle around. And sometimes, honestly, being an adult kind of sucks, and I wish I was still a kid. But as a kid, you want them to always approach these things on the same equal level emotional field as the standard. That's what we're trying to do. That's what we've been trying to do. We want people to look at gay people the same way they look at straight people. Like, oh, okay, it's whoever, blah, blah, blah. And we don't care. That's the goal. The goal is to make it normal, like normal in everybody's mind. And so that way, we are like, and the more that we come to accept people in these ways, and that includes like trans people as well, the more we come to be able to just simply allow people to exist without having it to be a thing, then, ultimately, like it's something that it will reduce the amount of stress that we have to have about it, and it will also make notions and fears about those like certain types of groups that much more repellent to broader mainstream society. Everybody collectively is against homophobia, transphobia, etc., because of course we are, because it's just the standard. It's all the standard, and that's what we want. We want everybody to be accepted. However, right out of the conservative playbook and the right wing is this idea, and they will always push it and you will always fucking see it, is, well, I mean, first they want, gay acceptance, but what's next? Marrying a dog? Like, what the fuck, man? And they will always do it. And right here, while Dave Rubin's trying to plead his case to how, no, like some conservatives are great, it's the left actually, that's the problem, he talks about the line and pushing the line. And the fact of the matter is, surrogacy and these kinds of like designer baby sort of situations and shit, it's not a gay thing. Fucking straight people do that shit all the time too. All the fucking time. Whether it's out of necessity or because they want to. It's fucking weird. So I don't know. It's so frustrating. Anyway, so just to recap, Dave is saying that the reason why some conservatives are homophobic is because the left eats society, and now Glenn is going to say something. Just listen to this.
Honestly, don't, because that has nothing to do with me and how I'm going to live my life.
I think, and this is why I wanted to have you on, because I don't have an answer. I am, you know me.
Hang on, before we hear it, this Glenn's sense of style is just the fucking cringiest, dumbest shit. Like, what is this? He's in obviously a heated studio. He's got a fucking a bright yellow sweater over a long sleeve collared plaid green shirt, and then a fucking safari Boy Scout. What is this? What in the fuck is this drip, dude? What is this? I mean, don't get me wrong, like it's kind of ill, kind of a little bit, but I mean, it's pretty fucking disgusting. I can't tell whether I love it or I hate it. It's bizarre. Anyway, I could do a whole video about Glenn Beck's fucking fashion choices. It's just incredible.
I wanted to have you on because I don't have an answer. I am, you know me, I am a deeply religious man, and my religion says man and a woman, that is the basic building block of family. We're probably the clearest church on this because it's been in our doctrine for 200 years.
Look at poor Dave's face, man. Poor Dave's face. This is his boss. This is his boss on his boss's show. Being broadcast on TVs stacked on top of suitcases? What is this? What is this fucking with a fucking dog statue? What is this set, dude? What in the fuck is happening? The more you look, the more bizarre it is. What is this table? Is this like some fucking medieval rack, some torture device? What the fuck is going on in the Blaze Studios? What the shit is this? Anyway, so poor Dave is about to get explained how he's actually evil, because he's a godless, sinful piece of shit by his boss.
So we're very clear on that. But that's marriage and relationships. And that's what I believe. But I also know God created you just like he created me, flaws and all.
See, it's God's fault that he made you gay. Is that? Uh-oh.
I believe I have a gene, they've never found it, that makes me very susceptible to alcoholism because it runs in my family.
I see. So he's genetically gay. It's not Dave's fault. God just gave him the gay genes. Jeez. And like right now, Dave Rubin should be celebrating the fact that he and his husband are going to have children. He should be happy. And instead, he's sitting here getting told by his boss that the whole reason why he's a godless butt fucker who's going to commit this sinful act of eugenics and creating babies is because God cursed him with bad gay genes. Wow.
So does craziness, but it runs in my family. The same thing with things that I don't understand. And if we can't have a conversation about things that we don't necessarily understand and probably won't until we get to the other side, we have to just work it out together and be able to say, Dave, I disagree, or I don't know what the answer is, but I love you.
It's such a cop-out, man. It's such a fucking cop-out. Like this whole idea of like, well, because I think that you are a godless, awful, terrible person for the things that you do, and it's a choice, but also it's God, and he gave you bad genes, but also it's a choice, and you should just stop being a godless butt fucker. But I love you. That old tired fucking trope that I've heard from conservative Christians for so fucking long is that I may want to take away your rights and your autonomy and your ability for choice and this and that and the other thing, and I might want to do all these horrible things to you, but I love you. I see. Okay. Yeah. All right. That's okay. Okay. God made you gay, but you should change. I mean, fuck, dude. Like, this kind of shit is just so absolutely soul wrecking. I feel so bad for Dave. Okay, so quite a few people are like, well, I don't feel bad for Dave because he made his bed and he has to lay in it. I still feel bad for Dave. I do still feel bad for Dave because the thing is, I legitimately think that Dave Rubin is a stupid, stupid person. I think he's an idiot. Here, let's get Dave on the screen. Here. Ooh, what have I gotten myself into this time? Hee hee. No, Dave is a dumbass. Dave is fucking stupid. He's very, very dumb. And he probably thought at this point that he was completely fucking bulletproof. And the thing is, life is going to go on, but at the same time, because he made this a big deal, there's always going to be a subset of people that are going to call him a disgusting piece of shit for this. And because he decided to include his impending family, then they're going to be carrying that stigma their whole fucking lives. If I was Dave Rubin, and I know, of course, this is like coming out of like, I guess, hindsight or whatever, or unwarranted advice, but having navigated the internet as long as I have, there's one universal rule. Keep your fucking kids off the internet. And keep your whole plans for having kids off the internet. He could have just simply not said anything. And if somebody found out about it later, been like, it's none of your business. Fuck off. That's it. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. So now instead, we will always have this memory of Dave Rubin getting absolutely butt fucked by his boss and told that he's genetically inferior because God made him gay. Fucking moron.